Happy Wednesday. Welcome into the live recording of episode 102 of the Client by Client podcast for online coaches. We'll get started here in a little less than 1 minute, talking about why you got to stop waiting for motivation and just start. Today, over in Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we talk about, should you be using AI, artificial intelligence, in your online coaching business? Is it too soon? Are there consequences for not using it? Is this the right next step for you? Be sure to go and get that now in your favorite podcast player. You can find that by going to pod.link/clients. And you can get all of the goodness on AI and if you should be using it in your online business. Let's hop in and let's do the damn thing. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the last episode, episode 101, we talk about why freedom comes from structure and what you need to tighten up in your business and in your personal life so that you can get better results, more clients, and create the legacy that you were looking to create as an online coach. So be sure to backtrack one episode, an important one, not strategy and how you get clients, but absolutely important to how you get clients because for the reasons I share with you in the episode. So backtrack one and be sure to not miss out on that. In today's episode, I want to talk about why it's time to stop waiting for motivation and just start. So let's hop in and let's bring this to life. The first thing that you need to know is that the timing is never going to be perfect. And perfect is just another word for procrastination. And so if you have an idea, if you have an offer you want to structure, if you have a client you want to go after, if you have some project you want to implement in your online business, you got to stop waiting for motivation. And motivation is for the amateurs because motivation is fleeting. And motivation is one of those things that you might wake up with one day and you might not. So better to leverage what we talked about in the last episode and just get more disciplined and more structured in your day so that you don't rely on motivation to follow through on your commitments. And better to just start committing to and doing the things that you have to do on a daily basis versus trying to find the motivation and make this shift that's temporary and then move on from it once you've gotten the motivation and maybe completed the thing. The issue in waiting for motivation is that motivation comes and goes, and motivation is for the amateurs and a real professional in their sport, in their profession, right? In their industry. They know that through discipline and through structure, they're going to conquer great things over a short, mid, and long period of time. And when you wait for motivation to come around, you just don't know how long you're going to be waiting, nor do you know how long an opportunity you have in front of you is actually going to last. So better to capitalize on it and work with what you got than to be waiting constantly for motivation to come and bestow it upon you. What also you might find out in your online coaching career is that you might not wake up with motivation on any given day, but through discipline and through structure, you can find ways to kick yourself up off the couch, to kick yourself up out of bed, to kick yourself out when you're feeling down, and find ways to just get started and to stop avoiding the work and to stop avoiding the things going to actually drive your online business, which is sales. The first thing that you must understand when it comes to stop waiting for motivation and when it comes to just getting started is that the timing is never going to be perfect. And perfect is just another word for procrastination. Second, your plan for whatever you want to implement and bring to life doesn't need to be perfect, but there is so much value in the planning because in the planning, what you're going to create is a vision and an understanding for the scope of work. And when you start to understand how much that scope of work might be, this is going to allow for you to say, okay, what adjustments do I need to make in my daily structure, in my daily habits, in my to-do list, and in my systems so that I can just start doing these critical few things and then layer up on top maybe these more advanced things. Maybe you want to implement a new training that you want to make that's going to attract in new leads, or you want to make a new lead magnet that's going to attract in your ideal and perfect clients. If you start to, instead of starting to fly by the seat of your pants and you start to create a plan for what you're going to do on a daily basis to bring it to life. Today, I'm going to make an outline. Tomorrow, I'm going to work on the first part. Second, I'm going to add meat to the body, and then I'm going to work on the second part. Then after you complete a couple days, it's like on the seventh day or next week, I'm going to work on the graphic design and I'm going to work on bringing together the right cover that's going to attract my right people. And you still haven't taken a step yet on any of the writing or on any of the words and characters that need to go into your lead magnet or into any of the sequences that are going to go into the video training that you're going to make. But what your mind now understands is what that scope of work is. And when you start to wrap your head around it, you can start to make better strategic moves from the outside before you get so far into the weeds that it gets really hard to see what you're doing. Because when you get into the weeds and it gets really hard to see what you're doing, you start to make limited decisions and you start to fall into this mental fatigue, which is where you're going to start to lose your energy, aka lose your motivation. The plan does not have to be perfect, but there is so much value in the planning. And when you start to figure out what the plan needs to happen, what's going to end up happening is as you evolve in your online business, should you have the ambitions of having a team, you're going to expect so much more from your team members because you know what good looks like. And when someone comes to you with an idea, you're going to know whether it's an idea or something that's worth pursuing because maybe they have a plan in hand. And when they have a plan in hand, you are now able to have and bestow trust upon them to actually go and run with that thing. And even though that plan that they have in hand might not be perfect, the fact that they stood there and put the mental fortitude and the mental energy into it means that they've thought through things so much more diligently, and they've probably thought through other options, and they probably got to a point of deciding why this plan is the right thing for us to move forward with. And when you can start operating like that, I think that you start to create a business that is capable of having employees, attracting the right ones in, and keeping them for a long period of time. The plan doesn't have to be perfect, but there is so much value in the planning. Third, hesitation kills. There's this quote when it comes to extreme motorsports, and it's probably been used in other places. I have a couple friends back in the day that used to do supercross and motocross and those sorts of things. They always talk about hesitation kills, that when you are on the throttle and you're making your motorbike go extremely fast, if you hesitate on a jump, on a hill, when you're learning tricks, when you're doing all of these things, if you hesitate, that split second can cause catastrophe to happen. It can cause injury to happen. It can also be a very expensive crash landing that you can cause to happen. And so they always talk about the person that's the best in motocross is the person that's always no hand on the brake, full hand grasping the throttle. It's that person that doesn't have the fear that could end up in the worst sort of situation. And I've seen that, but also it's the person that wins. And the people that you see at the elite level in X Games and in these superior high-level sports on TV, these are the folks that are on the throttle the entire time who are not thinking about braking at all. Hesitation kills. And when it comes to your online coaching business, hesitation kills your dreams. I'm going to mess the quote up, but I heard the quote the other day that when presented with the opportunity of a lifetime, you must act in the lifetime of that opportunity. And opportunities do not last a lifetime. So when you have the motivation, sometimes that's your opportunity. You got to act within the lifetime of that motivation. Better to not wait for the motivation and better to just get started. But when it comes to the opportunities you have in front of you, maybe it's a joint venture partner. Maybe it is a new idea that you had for a training, for a lead magnet, for an offer that you want to put together, for a promotion that you want to do in your online business. When you have that thought, when you have that inspiration, because inspiration is different than motivation, but when you are inspired and you feel called to act, it's important that you start to plan, that you get the thought out of your head, that you start to put together some ideas around it without judging it and acting out of inspiration. Then you could put a plan together, and if the plan makes sense, you can move forward with it. And when you act from there, notice you don't need the motivation because you now know what needs to be done and the boxes that need to be checked and the milestones that must be crossed in order to actually complete your vision. Hesitation kills, and moreover, it kills your dreams. Lastly, the future is an illusion. If you're constantly waiting around for motivation, for the right idea, for the right strategy, for the weather to be absolutely perfect for you to act on your vision, on your master plan, on what you know you're capable of doing, you are wasting the present moment. And the present moment is all you really have. The past is no longer here and the future is an illusion. We have this illusion in this human body that there is the past, the present, the future, and that time is linear, but that's not how it works. You are just a microsecond when it comes to the universe's perception of the human way of looking at time, because time is such a trivial thing when you zoom out. And when you understand that life is extremely short and you never know when you're going to die. You could die today or you could die perceptibly tomorrow. What you will understand on the other side of that death is that death is also an illusion, and that the future is, and that the future is made up of a compilation of moments in the present. And when you start to accept the present moment, be in the present moment through guiding your breath, by staying in positive thought, by accepting where you're at and acting from where you're at right now, from where your feet and from where your ass and your body is right now, you start to capitalize and you start to get out of the matrix of time and you start to capitalize on the present moment. And it's called the present because it is a gift. The past has already happened, it's no longer here. The future is an illusion. You have to stop waiting and you have to start acting in the now. In the next episode of Client by Client, I want to switch gears and talk about how to leverage video in your online coaching business when it comes to your marketing, when it comes to client delivery, and when it comes to just the visual aspect of your online business. So be sure to come back tomorrow to understand my ideas and my vision for you for how to leverage video in your online coaching business. Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, download your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches are used to managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox, where you're losing leads in the cracks and leaving a lot of money on the table every single month. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. What started out as a free way for me to turn prospects into clients has quickly become a favorite tool of my private students and the many members in the Leverage Coach community. Get leads and turn them into clients in half the time and get it while it's still free. To download your copy now, just find me over on Instagram and send me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got hundreds of coaches from all over the world in varying different coaching niches, in dozens of different coaching niches, all implementing my strategies for starting and growing an online coaching business. To get your free invitation out, all you have to do is find me over on Instagram and send me the word group. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting some coaches together this month to implement my methods and frameworks for injecting a minimum of 15K worth of new clients or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But working with the right people is super important to me. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 6 months to a year. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically from social media every month without wasting money and time on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most importantly, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram app icon, find me at What Up Jeremy, follow and binge on some content while you're there. And then when you're ready, send me the words case study. When you do that, I'll ask you a couple questions about your online business and the vision for your next 12 months. Then I'll share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students from varying different coaching niches all over the world to implement my strategies for getting clients every single month. And then we'll discover what part of the program will likely make the biggest impact on your online business the soonest. That way you know what to expect. For all the details now, just find me over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and send me the words case study. That's it for this episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one. Cheers. All right, team. If you got value from that, screenshot this wherever you're at and drop me a camel emoji in the comments if you made it all the way through to the end, and go sell something. You'll feel better for it. That's it for me. See you guys tomorrow. Cheers.